projects that we've done. Jump into it once you open it up. If you could skip to page 3, and just so we can kind of recap what your goals are and what we chatted about last time. Really, what our takeaway was from our conversation is one of the main goals was to fill the vacancies. It sounded like there was about a 20 to 25% gap vacant cabins right now during the summer months. We would want to address that right away as step one. Let's build awareness and drive people to these cabins immediately, but then also set us up and begin building demand for the fall, the border season bookings that are coming up. We would really want to position you guys as a leader, differentiate you from other competitors in the area. David and I, we did a little bit of online research of just all the cabins that are bordering around the lake, what their websites look like, what they're doing on social media, what they're doing for email, pay-per-click. We had found some interesting findings. There are some resorts that didn't seem to have as many amenities or as large of facilities, but were doing well, say in the social space, but then not so much on websites. So we can get into that later. I think that'll be valuable information for you, just regardless if you choose to work with us or not. And then really we'd like to serve advertisements to new prospects and then properly farm the people that have been coming to you and having great experiences in the past. Did I miss anything there from our last call? Okay, perfect. So if you skip to page 4, what this really outlines are the missing pieces that we could be doing better with you. And I can have David explain a little bit into that arena.
Right, awesome. Yeah, so just kind of addressing the white space and kind of building on your goals and how it kind of relates to some of the local region audit and stuff that we did. The big piece is the digital media presence. So 85% of people these days are checking your Facebook. More and more is Facebook and Instagram kind of flow together, are checking Instagram. When they look to, especially book a vacation, they're looking and seeing and relating your social media as it pertains to other, lodges and resorts in the region. Right now, there's a pretty big gap in terms of your Facebook, as you guys know. I noticed on your website, your Instagram link actually takes to the location tag. Although that tag is in existence in Instagram, it's not actually your own feed, which means that the content there isn't as high quality as other lodges and resorts in the region. You're kind of suspect to whatever people are tagging. So if someone for as an example, God forbid, tags an inappropriate picture or something, that's going to reflect on your brand, and you're going to be pushing any website visitors to that, which is a pretty big business risk. Whereas if that Instagram link took them to an Instagram which should be full of professional photos, kind of highlighting the experience that guests are having, and you have control over that, you get to dish up whatever image you want your visitors to potentially see. Facebook and Instagram, as you know, there's a gap there. I know you guys mentioned Twitter on the last call as well, and there's a lot of work we can work with you guys there on as well. The second thing is we audited a number of resorts. Derek and I have spent about 3 hours looking at different resorts in the region, stacking you guys against them, both in terms of how you guys match up in terms of the property, but also your digital properties. What are they doing in terms of AdWords? How are they ranking? When you search resort lake, who comes up? What we found in terms of the front runners are, in terms of Facebook engagement, a resort called, which I'm sure you're familiar with, they were sitting at about 25% engagement, which means that they're doing a lot. Those numbers aren't organic numbers. They're promoting posts. They have calls to action on the posts, and they're doing a really good job of nurturing the business that they've already earned and those likes that they've earned into people that are ambassadors for their brand, which is sort of the end game that we'd have with you guys, is to keep the community engaged, keep serving up content that they truly enjoy. Every time they like you and you earn that like on a photo, their entire friendship community then sees that they liked that post, and you begin to have an organic reach outside of just what you're paying to promote in terms of advertisements. And the other thing that we noticed as well was, I'm not sure if you were aware, your website performs fairly well on desktop. On mobile, we noticed that when you navigate to that, the header is a blown out, low resolution version of the fireworks photo that's on your website, which means that on my iPhone, I had to scroll down 4 times just to get past that photo before I saw text. And I had to go down 10 full scrolls before I saw any kind of call to action. It took me 10 full scrolls to get to somewhere where I saw that on an iPhone, which means that Google knows that, which means that your organic search results, unfortunately, are going to be hurt by that. So we included that as an option or a proposal, as well as something that we could help you out with. So how does that kind of line up with your goals and where you guys thought that you were at today? Yeah, I'm truly sorry to hear that. That's can't be fun at all. Yeah, and just so you know, in the future, anybody in a basement, you're right, can get WordPress up and running, but it's sort of the gold standard. About 80% of the internet today is actually built on the WordPress platform. Next time, should you choose to engage with us and we do a website for you, it's going to be built on WordPress. All of the industry best practices in terms of best of breed plugins, all the back-end integrations, Amazon.com or BestBuy.com or anybody who runs a store on the internet or a business on the internet uses, we're going to put on your website. Wix, I would never, recommend to anyone, and I'm sorry that, that happened. I know it's not fun, and I'm sorry that you wasted all that time and money. Moving ahead here, our approach, we've kind of been over it. We're very experienced in this industry, we know what we're doing. We're going to leverage all of our knowledge, all the best tools available on the market, paid and free on your behalf, and we're going to put those to work for you in addition to, the initiatives that we're taking in, the social media space. But, if we slide down to, sure.
Yeah, I can do it. It's fine.
Stress the fact that this is a proposal.
Yeah, this is clearly just.
And then we can be there next week if he wants. On site, open ass, generating content.
Not some fucking guy hide behind that. That's gonna be big.
Yeah.
That we can just fucking be there, face to face, shake your hand. So if we go to page 6, we broke it down into 3 different categories based on what needs we felt were going to be most effective for your business. The first tier, we really wanted to work on your Facebook and Instagram advertisements to your ideal customer profile. So what that means is setting up your Facebook with industry best practices, setting up your Instagram, really targeting people that are looking to come up north, spend time with their family up here, pretty much before they're even jumping on Google, looking at resorts and starting to compare apples to apples. I can get into the weeds on how that all works, but high level, there's a ton of information that everyone gives about themselves on Facebook, and we can use that to leverage advertisements to put your resort directly in front of them. How it gets in front of them, if you have a Facebook, correct? Do you have like a personal account or anything like that? Okay, so you're on Facebook just scrolling through, you see what your friends and family are posting, and then all of a sudden there's something that's not from your friends or family. It's what you've been Google searching or a particular product that you may be interested in. That's a company targeting you as an ideal buyer for their product. And so we would essentially do the same thing, and it's super effective because the people that we're targeting, it's not just going to be everyone in America, it's going to be people within a 50-mile radius of the Twin Cities, people like us. We're a good target for you too. So like we would really understand what the buyer's journey would look like and what would be appealing to myself or David to want to take a trip up there. Really reverse engineering what that looks like. It's a complex process in the weeds, but when you look at it from a psychological perspective, it's fairly easy. People that are interested in doing outdoor activities, they travel a lot, they're interested in camping, fishing, hunting, all those things that make Minnesota great. Those are easily trackable behaviors on Facebook, and we would just put you right in front of them so you're top of mind. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly correct. So, and it's not even an invasive pop-up. It's just baked right into your news feed. Yeah. You're like, oh, did a friend just post that? One of my buddies must have that lure. That's 100% what we'd be doing with your resort. And the reason why that works is because that lure company has seen, they know where you live, they know that you're on a lake, they know that you're a resort owner, are interested in fishing, and you're the perfect ideal buyer for their brand. And so they'll probably, what is it, a video, or what are they putting in front of you? Yep. Yeah, and it's more or less information that in your history is a bit public, so it is kind of creepy how targeted you can get, but really it's, even though it's creepy, it's a lot more beneficial than an ad popping up on a pair of high heels boutique, putting that in front of your news feed. They're not going to do that because they're just going to be wasting their money, because that costs money to be putting that in front of you. So that's 100% how this works too. And that's what's really so powerful about social media, is the way that you can target those advertisements. And really that's just where people are at. I mean, that it's called social media, but really we should be just calling it the internet, because that's what the internet is nowadays. That would be all included with a site visit. Not only would we just be doing that, but we would come out there, we could do some interviews of you and yourself or your wife, and just see what really makes you guys different, do a whole brand story video, and then pretty much tee up the next 90 days of professional, beautiful content to be posting online. So we're kind of taking that, well, what do I say? What should I say on social media? We pretty much take that out of your hands, and we're not really trying to create what to say. We're really just documenting what's there. What's great about you, what's great about the facility. That's the beautiful thing about the internet and where it's evolved, is people really gravitate towards authenticity and what's real, rather than trying to just fabricate a story or something like that. And I think you have a great story to tell, and we would help develop that when we go up there. And I know that we haven't met personally yet, and you've been clearly burned in the past by other people that have maybe hidden behind a computer or a phone, but we're 100% local to Minnesota and willing to come up there, shake your hand face to face, and do all this for you in person as early as next week. We've got some scheduled trips this weekend that we're doing to shoot some on-site content for another client, but we could be out there relatively quickly. So just wanted to ensure you that what happened to you in the past is definitely not something that would happen with us. And we take full responsibility in our customers' success, and that's why we really put our face in front of our brand to really own that. So does that kind of make sense for tier 1 at least? Tier 2 would basically everything included in tier 1, but we would focus on email marketing as well, nurturing that existing business that you have. There's a lot of people that have spent time at your resort and come up there in the summer months that maybe haven't visited with you in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Doing a quarterly email or a monthly newsletter like that, not necessarily to be quote unquote spammy, I think is what I heard you guys say before, but really just to be informative and just show them the cool things that you're doing. there's been a shift in advertisement where it's more important to just, show, there's more of a pull than a push. So, we're trying to pull people in by highlighting all the beautiful aspects of your place, rather than saying, come on down, 10% off if you do it, act now, kind of a gimmicky advertisement. Email can be the lifeblood of an organization. It's a huge component of small businesses, and really staying top of mind with people. It's very important to be out there hunting for new business. We'll be doing with social media and engaging new audiences, but it's also equally important to keep people coming back. So I don't know what your retention rate is or anything like that, or returning customers, but that's a big component as well that we can offer. And then the third tier is basically tier 1 and tier 2, but then we're doing Google AdWords as well. And then finally, we didn't know if this was an option or not, and if it was a sensitive subject, but we did put on there our pricing of a website design that we could really do it right, have it set up for desktop, mobile, have it on a WordPress site. If you scroll down to the final page, it just goes over the pricing for tier 1, for us to completely take over the Facebook, Instagram, advertisements, target your ideal people. It's a tier of $9.97 a month. That not only includes our retainer to do the work and the market research and be massaging your campaigns and building awareness, it also includes advertisement spend. So we're not asking for anything above and beyond that $9.97 for the starting package. Tier 2, $14.97 a month. That's everything included in tier 1, with a focus on getting people who have been on your resort before back to you by keeping them up to date through email. And then tier 3 is the $19.97 a month, which is going to include the Facebook, email, and the Google AdWords. That actually includes the cost as well. So that's not like a retainer. We've just factored in about how much that we need to spend a month to give you a competitive space on there, just based off of the research that we've done. We could do less and then maybe not show up as much, or we didn't want to do any more than that because we felt that would be overkill. So that $2,000 is about in the sweet spot for all the services plus the Google AdWords to get you essentially number 1 on those search results. How does that kind of line up with what you were expecting, or what you're thinking in terms of strategy moving forward? Yeah, exactly. So typically for professional videographers, photographers, to go out and do aerial footage like that is anywhere upwards from $2,500 to $5,000 for a one-time deal like that. That's really the price for services like that. And just as a good faith that we're gonna work together to build this up for 6 months, we would do it for $1,250 essentially. And we did put it on there as like an optional thing, but I would strongly recommend it because basically we're going to come up there and really capture the beauty of your resort. And yes, we could do technical advertisements on Facebook, and we can get you in front of the right people, but we want to get you in front of the right people and be saying the right thing and sharing the content that's going to be engaging on those platforms. So I would highly recommend going with a site visit. We're going to put your brand and your resort in a much better position if we can go up there and really capture it correctly. And then you also don't have to worry about going out and either hiring a photographer or shooting content yourself. One site visit will have at least 3 months of content where we'll be posting beautiful pictures, videos, and really be able to tell your story. So it's on there as an option, but we definitely recommend getting us up there. Really, any of these packages we're going to have ROI and a positive return. It's just really what you're comfortable with at this point in time, based on budget and how aggressively you want to grow, and how quickly you want to get people in the door. So is there one particular tier that sticks out to you that you think would be a good starting point? Okay.
If we can go next week, will you sign? What? If we can do it next week and sign this week, we'll offer you that for 3 months.
Okay, hey, that makes perfect sense. Typically if we do a shorter term, but really the pricing is based off of a 6-month agreement, but that does make sense. I get that, you are 4 seasons, but it's not as hot of a time for you. I think what we could do, and what we've done before is, if you're willing to sign and, really have us get up there next week and just start on this right away at the tier 1 level, we could alter it to a 3-month agreement instead of a 6, if that's something that you'd be willing to move on, as early as having us come up there next week. And then at that point, after you see all the great work we do, we can, reassess after 3 months and, see what's appropriate. Maybe you guys want to take on more responsibility with the social media and your digital presence. Maybe you want to keep us doing a couple things at a lower rate. That's completely something that we can debate at that point in time. But yeah, if you're willing to start today and, have us get up there, as soon as possible, we could offer the same rate for 3 months, just as a, good faith. I understand that you've been burned before in the past, and I think that would be just a great way to start a relationship. Yeah. Yeah, and that's just kind of off of, our last conversation too. It sounds like you've got open vacancy right now that could be being capitalized on. So it's much more advantageous for us to basically start immediately to try and get, those gaps filled in the summer months while we're still in the thick of it, rather than wait till later and, we're doing well, but the season and the market isn't there. So the market's here, we should go full steam ahead, is really the driving force behind that. Do you think that, I know you're going to think it over, and it's a lot of information, but are there any questions that can really help clarify? I know we spit a ton of information at you, and is there anything that we could break down into, more simple terms, or anything else that was foggy about our proposal? Mm-hmm. After looking at the market of what your competition is, I think there's a really great hole to fill that could really put you guys ahead of the map. Ultimately, we're committed to, earning your business. So be it we start at, a tier 1 package, or we start at a tier 3 package. It's not necessarily, it matters to us. It's just, we really want to do something that you're comfortable with, and then completely overperform whatever package you choose. Because ultimately, if we make you successful, you're a testimonial, you're, something that's going to help our business as well. So we're completely motivated to overperform on any level. So you got a lot of info and you want to think it over. And when do you think would be a good time for us to reconnect, where after you have some conversations with your partner and other people involved, where we could rework some things or move forward? Yeah, I could just give you my cell phone. My direct line is, you can shoot me an email too, but that's going to be the best way to get a hold of me. Have a great rest of your week.
Thanks. Bye.
here and just wanted to show you guys sort of what our process is as we're making these calls. A lot of the videos you've seen is us like time lapse and you can't really see a lot of the details. So wanted to show you what we do. So if you look right here, I've got a list of some people that we're going after. And this is about all we do. You know, we have their business name, website, phone number. So I'm just gonna Google, this happens to be a resort, Whiplash Lake Resort, Hayward, Wisconsin. I'm gonna click on the website. And typically what I'm looking for is just things that pop out to be a negative. I mean, it's okay. It looks like it says copyright 2014, so you know it's at least 3 years old. And then I'll check their Facebook. I hate when it does this, by the way. Let's see. I'll just type in Facebook, Wisconsin. See what they have going on for social media. 425 people like this. 3 likes. 6 likes. Looks like they're really just posting on like holidays in the beginning of the month with very little engagement. So this could be a great place to call. That's really about all I'll do for research. We have a contact point of Wendy, so I'll just give Wendy a call here. So they might not even answer, we'll see. Brought me to like an automated system. Yeah, so glad I didn't spend a ton of time researching that because it was just a weird automated system and nobody was available to answer my call.
Hey guys, David Schlace here with Vital Traffic Labs. So today we focus on Instagram. We've got 4 tips. Tip number 1 is to posting content on a regular basis, both for your followers so that they remember who you are, you stay top of mind, but also for the evolving Instagram algorithm. Tip 2 is to use similar theme or filter throughout your posts. When visitors come to your page, they see that you have a cohesive brand look and aesthetic across your feed. They're going to be more encouraged to scroll down the feed and thus more encouraged to engage with more photos and to give you a follow. And number 3 is to better leverage Instagram stories. This is a new feature in the last 6 months, but is quickly becoming a very, very high demand space and very competitive. And number 4 is to be sure that you're using between 20 and 30 hashtags on every post. This has been Instagram best practice for 2 years now, showing up in a lot of searches for various hashtags. See you next time.